suggest you stay out of this one. Please. You only make this worse.
You saying you'll arrest me? There will be consequences. Captain, you seem a little defensive. Well, it's been a long day. If we can't accept limitations, we're no better than bad guys. That's not the way I see it. Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth. I just want to make sure we consider all our options. The people that shoot at you usually wind up shooting at me too.
We know what's about to happen. Do you really want to punch your way out of this?
What do we do? We fight. Sorry, Tony. You know I wouldn't do this if I had any other choice. But he's my friend. So was I.
Alright, Captain America Civil War. This came out May 2016. It was a jam-packed year for comic book movies.
2 months after BVS.
2 months after BVS. And I think Deadpool came out at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, February.
So yeah. I think it's fair to say we were all pretty excited for Captain America 3. We enjoyed the first Avenger, and we loved the Winter Soldier. So, of course, the third film, we're hoping it will be even better than that. This is also directed by the Russo brothers, who did the Winter Soldier, and is also directing Avengers Infinity War. And I'm just not going to waste any time. This movie is amazing. It's A+. It's perfect. Yeah, nothing's wrong with it. It's amazing. No comic movie after this is even better. Nothing can stack up on top of it.
In your opinion.
Yeah, there's no point of us talking about the other films because this movie's so perfect and nothing's wrong. Screw all the other comic book films. DC can just die and just go in this grave right now. A+, 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 A+. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. I'll see you in the next video.
Yes. That's a good ending.
Okay, is it gone?
I think they're gone.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, now let's get to our real opinions about this film. Alright.
It was meh. It was...
You actually got me for it. You actually got me for a moment.
Got you! Because all those times you were thinking me. Okay, so...
It was mediocre.
It was mediocre. So, before we get into our general thoughts, though, D23, was it like 2015 or something?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, when they were announcing the new slate for Phase 3, Captain America was one of them. But, you know, it wasn't always Civil War. They actually started out, they were going to make it Serpent Society, which I actually thought, okay, that'll be an interesting villain for the third film. And also you can, you know, spend more time developing the relationship with Bucky and Cap. Tie up loose ends with that, but I think this is probably a conspiracy to a lot of people, but I actually believe this has something to do with it. There was a specific film that came out the same year as Civil War that I think impacted what this film actually turned out to be. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just going to put the picture right here. But yeah, so when that movie came out, I have a feeling that they just literally changed their minds at the last minute and be like, you know what? We're not going to do Serpent Society. We're going to do Civil War. And I was like, what? No!
I didn't realize that they were planning on doing Serpent Society.
Yeah. That was. They actually made a logo for it and everything. And it's like they actually tricked the audience at D23. Yeah. I actually was interested to see Serpent Society.
I didn't even know that.
So... yeah, they decided to do Civil War, and I'm just like, no, this movie's not big enough to do Civil War. It's too early. You don't have enough characters.
They didn't establish some characters before Civil War, and then they just threw them in there. You know, they should have done Civil War, honestly, after Black Panther.
Or they could have done it. I'm going to talk about my whole thing of what I would do at the end because it's this whole elaborate thing. But, yeah. But anyway, regardless of that, I was like, I'm going to love my expectations. I'm going to see what they do with it. The trailers got me hyped, especially when they revealed they got Spider-Man. I was like, yes! They got him in the MCU!
Yeah, I'm so excited!
He looked fantastic.
Yes, I loved it, which we'll get into later. But yeah, so I was still very excited for it. And walking, I'll admit, the first time I saw it, I loved it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was a fun time. I didn't think it was as good as Winter Soldier, but I thought it was up there, enjoyable. But the more I watch it, the more I see problems. Yep, this is where we start to get a divide in the fandom.
A civil war of our own.
Yeah, I know. Civil war of our own, yes. I don't like this movie. This movie is not well written. It's sloppy. It's inconsistent. The tone is not consistent. They shoehorn characters in here, and it feels like they just wasted an entire huge storyline, and we'll get into why. But we'll start with you, Crimson Amazon. How did you feel about Captain America: Civil War?
The first time I saw it, actually, I just thought it was okay. And then it got worse for me the second time I saw it. Mm-hmm. I was super hyped for it. I mean, I knew, Spider-Man. I was excited to see what Tom Holland would do with Spider-Man. He was great. But it was rushed. The whole movie was rushed. They chose not to introduce Spider-Man or Black Panther before the movie. That was a really bad decision. I actually heard some people in the theater who were seeing it for the first time, but it was my second time seeing it, who were like, "Where's Andrew Garfield?" when they showed Spider-Man. So that was really interesting, and I realized that they didn't really advertise too much either. They didn't show Tom Holland as Spider-Man too much. So I guess if you're a casual moviegoer and you saw Amazing Spider-Man, you are going to assume that it's going to be Andrew Garfield, which I didn't, but obviously. But I just think they needed to do more with it. They needed to advertise more. All they did was advertise Captain America and Iron Man,
which is what it should have been, mainly. Not have a bunch of other weird stuff happening.
I disagree.
We'll get into that. Colin, what did you think about Captain America: Civil War?
It was amazing. Okay, as Spider-Man, and I don't like. Who cares about the Avengers? Spider-Man is the true hero. Honestly, guys, oh my God, when D-Wizzle showed me that Spider-Man in this movie, I flipped out of the window, bottle trips. What? Spider-Man's finally in the main universe. I was so excited. I bragged to all of my friends. I regret that decision, but it's awesome. Okay, it has Vision and Black Panther, all the 9 yards, and I love it. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Nick, what did you think about Captain America: Civil War?
I like it. Pretty much. While I'm not the biggest fan of Civil War, the comic itself. I'm really not a big fan of it. So I was wondering, okay, how are they going to do the MCU version of it? Because Civil War is, for those who don't read the comic books, Civil War is huge. It literally is the entire 616 universe. It doesn't just affect, now say the 616 Marvel universe in the comics is like a map of the United States. Civil War on that level is pretty much encapsulating the entire country. The MCU version will be a state dispute. And I want to see, okay, how they're going to do it. And when they announce both pretty much Black Panther and Spider-Man into the mix, who are two of my favorite superheroes, I was like, okay, let's see what we can do. And I've seen it about 5 times now, and I still very much enjoy it. Is it as good as Winter Soldier? No. Mm-hmm. No. But is it better than Thor: The Dark World? Yes.
We'll have to talk. We'll have to discuss that.
You're giving me stink eye. Giving me stink eye. You know.
Yeah, Crimson's giving.
Crimson's giving me stink eye.
Well, I think there's going to be a fight.
There's going to be a fight in our hands. Before we start killing each other,
we have to talk about it.
Captain Eagle, what did you think about Captain America: Civil War?
Okay, I'm kind of in the middle on this one. I enjoy it. There are some really good parts of the movie, but overall, it has some big problems. I think it's just fine. It's okay. I know that, they really jumped the gun on the Civil War story. Mm-hmm. I haven't read the comics, as I've said in the other podcast, so I don't know all the details on it, but I do know that, from a movie franchise standpoint, they're nowhere near close to be able to pull off the Civil War story like it is in the comics. Like, you don't have enough characters, and they're trying to jam-pack so many things into it that don't belong there. That it did feel messy.
Okay, well, we're going to get into this, and I actually didn't realize how many different opinions we have on this film, so it's going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to go through. We're just going to go through one by one our cliff notes of this film. Let's just start with the story because there's a lot going on with this story. Okay, so after the events of Age of Ultron, I guess certain Avengers are doing their own thing, like Tony's doing his own thing, and Thor's going off to Asgard and stuff like that. And so Captain America and Black Widow are helming the new set of Avengers, which is Scarlet Witch, Vision, Falcon, and
War Machine.
War Machine, yep.
Iron Patriot.
Iron Patriot's better.
Really? What did Iron Patriot do again? What did he do?
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly. So anyway, they're helming this new team and they're doing missions and stuff. And we open the movie with him fighting Crossbones from Winter Soldier and
kind of like not Baron Zemo.
Oh no, we didn't get there yet.
Oh.
No, Crossbones is the guy with the.
I understand who Crossbones is.
Yeah.
And he was in it for, 2 seconds?
2 seconds.
And, he's...
More than 2 seconds.
He's actually a really cool villain, you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, he's actually a really cool
villain. In the 2 minutes that he's in, he's actually better than the actual villain in this movie, which we'll get to in a minute.
He's the best villain in the movie. Yes. He's in it for 2 minutes, and he's wasted just like Baron von Strucker in Age of Ultron.
Yep. So, So there was a squabble with Crossbones and Cap to the point where Crossbones ignited a bomb on his chest, I guess, and Scarlet Witch tried to use a force field to stop the bomb, but she couldn't get him out of harm's way in time, and it blew up the side of a building. And apparently that was the final straw for the government. So Thunderbolt Ross from the Incredible Hulk has the team, all the Avengers members signed these Sokovia Accords, even though it shouldn't just be Sokovia Accords, it should be like the entire country is Accords. But anyway, so they're having them sign this document to have all the superheroes be registered to the government, so they'll know exactly where they are, exactly what abilities they do, and they won't be able to do anything unless the government says so. And Tony Stark is behind this because a lady complained to her somewhere, and apparently
her son died during
Sokovia. So it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to turn myself in, which is not consistent with the character, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
But then that's not.
Get to it now.
Huh? No, because we have other weird stuff happening in this movie. So then you have Bucky trying to run away from the law, but Cap's trying to, prove his innocence and get his mind back in order and not have it be triggered by certain key words that Hydra put in his mind, and also causing collateral damage in the process. And then you have T'Challa, Black Panther, coming in, who is actually amazing. Yeah, T'Challa is one of the best parts of the film.
Manly tours, we will get into
that, which is also has his father die from from apparently they think it's Bucky, but it's actually something else. And then you have this whole dispute between Cap and Tony because Cap doesn't want to sign the Accords and he thinks it's against our civil rights. And we have this whole thing of Tony trying to turn him in. It is. Yeah. And then you have Tony and Cap creating teams to fight each other, and just, oh my god, this movie is all over the freaking place.
It's baby.
So yeah, let's just get into the Sokovia Accords because that's all over the place. You got something to say, Doc?
Yes. So pretty much, what we during the montage, montage in quotations of Ross showing the incidents, pretty much from Avengers 1, the battle in New York was 74 casualties.
Bullcrap.
The battle in DC from Winter Soldier that caused the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. was 23 casualties.
Bullcrap.
Oh, what?
Yes, 23 casualties in DC. And the Sokovia incident, 177 casualties altogether over the courses of two major alien attacks / populous terrorist attacks in densely populated areas. That is 274 deaths.
That is a miracle. No. They are doing an amazing job.
Oh, but wait, you forgot one specific detail that they refused to acknowledge. That freaking fight with Hulkbuster and Hulk in Age of Ultron! People died! A freaking skyscraper plummeted to the ground, but they don't bring it up at all! I don't give a crap! People died before that even happened!
No, they did not!
Brutally murdered by the Hulk alone!
No, the Hulk didn't hurt anyone. The Hulk just trashed their property. Not a big problem. They can rebuild it easily.
So here's my main problem with these Sokovia Accords. Okay, if you want to bring up all the destruction that happened with the Avengers and stuff like that, fine. But bring up everything. Don't bring up certain moments and then leave out more important matters.
Oh, what about the Hulk and Abomination fight
in Harlem?
Yeah.
Or what about the freaking destruction in New Mexico with Thor and Destroyer? Like, or the Stark Expo when freaking Whiplash and his drones were destroying everything. People are going to say, but it was Tony's place, so it doesn't really count. Yes, it does. Innocent people were in danger.
Well, actually, if you think about it, from what I just said, excluding what we all know about all of it, 274 people are dead. That still is a big number.
I get it.
Of people who are
dead.
Okay,
but there is an entire, alien army, ruthless alien army in New York. And You're sitting there and telling me that less than 200 people died.
Exactly.
Bull crap.
That's straight from them.
And if that's true, then they're doing a really good job at keeping the casualties down. And they should applaud them. Thank you, for handling these situations with such, a low casualty count.
It doesn't even make any sense.
Even though, I have a hard time believing that.
New York City is?
That's ridiculous. But if that's what we're going with, don't, give them shit.
Yeah.
I see what they're trying to go with.
I see what they're trying to go with.
What they're trying to say, they're not saying that the Avengers need to stop. They're not saying no, that they have to be held accountable, not financially or criminally, but they got to have an answer. Because pretty much there are people flying around, basically, because someone posted a comment that I have. The context is of the Civil War is that the Avengers need to be stopped. It's not that they need to be held accountable, not financially or criminally, but someone just wants them to have to answer to someone. They're essentially superpowered beings that are essentially running around the globe, wrecking shit, and then just going off and having a party. It's doubly bad because the Avengers came out of S.H.I.E.L.D., a spy organization that spent 70 years running around with no accountability, trying to put three massive death fortresses in the sky to monitor the planet, and harbored a freaking Nazi group for their entire existence.
That's not the Avengers' fault, though. And if we're going to be talking about what the government wants to do, first of all, they have no right to be. They're not in any position to be questioning what the Avengers do because they let Hydra freaking take over S.H.I.E.L.D. without them even knowing, and also the fact that you almost nuked New York City prematurely Do we really want to answer these people? And freaking Thunderbolt Ross himself let out a freaking abomination monster in the middle of Harlem. That was his fault. So, who are we actually supposed to be trusting at this point? Now, I get the intentions, but it's like I said, give me the government song, please.
I was about to say, you want that?
Yes.
I'm the government. I'm the government. I'm the reason nothing works.
Yes. Now, even... Oh yeah, Screech first time. She hasn't heard the government song.
Why are you shaking? You did anything wrong.
Everyone
Sit down. What metal kicks?
Oh my god!
If we put things into perspective, we can't wait for the Avengers to get the okay from the government because it will be too late. Or worse stuff would happen because of the government. It's like they're not even looking at what the Avengers did as a good thing. And as you said, yeah, the casualties were high, a huge 200 people, but it could have been much worse if they didn't do anything. Casualties happen all the time, no matter what they can do. It's like we can't save everyone, and it's like the government's not even putting that into consideration. Yes, Colin.
If it helps a little bit, Ross regretted it a little bit.
Did he?
Yeah.
When did he regret it?
After he almost destroyed the helicopter.
But
and killed like.
Dude, that's Incredible Hulk.
No,
Incredible Hulk.
No, that was an abomination.
That was 8 years ago. 8 years ago. We're talking about now. He's not in that mindset now. He's like, we're going to, even though what that whole thing you said, Doc, we know what the real intention of the government is. They want to shut these Avengers down and turn them into another band of soldiers for S.H.I.E.L.D., which is not good. Not good. At all. Now, talking about Tony. Tony, what is going on with you? Like, once again,
he's a broken
why is he?
individual.
Yes, why is he surrendering to the government now? When, once again, going back to the first few films, he doesn't want the government to have anything to do with the Avengers or even his technology. Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, even the Avengers. He's like, no, we don't want these people to get hands on our stuff.
I am Iron Man. For the government to have my suit is for them to have me. They can't have it. The suit and I are one.
Yes.
Going into the comic version of Civil War, there isn't a big event that caused the Civil War, which even in the comics is a stupid reason. You want to jump in on this one too? Well, what caused the Civil War in the comic?
Oh, no, you're good.
No, so pretty much, in the comics, there was like this superhero reality show, kind of what you could say Jackass for superheroes, and there was a supervillain called Nitro. Now, if you know the anime My Hero Academia, one of the characters in that show can use his sweat as pretty much he sweats nitroglycerin, so he can just do that and cause an explosion. The kid, pretty much these were like what, teenagers, like teenage. Yeah. They were like teenage superheroes. They weren't like A-list, and they were trying to go with this supervillain who, like I said, can literally sweat explosions. Nitro exploded and pretty much leveled an entire city, or was it a neighborhood? It was pretty much.
I think it was only a couple of blocks.
It was like a couple of blocks, like I said, pretty much blocks, and pretty much. That was the catalyst of the Civil War in the comics, and literally how Tony got confronted by one of the survivors in the movie happened in the comics too. So it's kind of like what was it? Miriam Sharp was her name in the comics. I think that was like it. It all goes back to
I'm not even expecting it to be exactly like the comic books. Like I said in Iron Man 3, I don't want an exact replica of the comic book Mandarin, but at least try to modernize it
They didn't even try.
They didn't even try. They could have. I'm going to say it now. They could have waited till after Infinity War because that's a big enough event and a bunch of destruction is going to happen. That would be enough for the government to come in and be like, okay, we need to put these superheroes in check. But for a freaking bomb to go off from Crossbones, that's going to be the final straw. I'm like, no, that's not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Yeah, I'm just no, and you don't have enough characters. This is supposed to be like a huge planetary thing. If you didn't want to do a planetary thing, do it the entire country. But you needed more characters. They didn't have enough.
It's just the Avengers that we've been with. This is the Avengers 2.5.
Yes, this is Civil Dispute, not Civil War.
Avengers added
Addendum.
Yeah, added with Black Panther and...
Yeah, and actually, going back on what I said earlier about the 274, that is a big number in our pretty much post 9/11 terrorism, pretty much more scare terrorism. And also, you gotta think of it from a financial standpoint too. According to the same screenshots that I talked about, all of the all the three incidents altogether resulted in over 450 billion. That's B with the B. Billion dollars in damages. That would go back. That would go back to piss someone off. Despite that a building dropped down here, that still is money. And we all know how much the government loves money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Civil War, though, what you were saying about the comics, that's not really what caused Civil War. It was the Sokovia Accords.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I believe so. Because I know, like, I don't think it was that superhero reality show type thing.
Oh man. I don't want the actual Civil. I want the American Civil War. I want the comics Civil War.
Well, he's looking it up. Colin, what you go ahead and say?
Didn't Civil War come after Infinity War in the comics?
No.
Yeah, it did.
No, it came before.
How?
It also wouldn't make any sense for them to do Civil War after Infinity War because certain people die.
Well, you can twist things in Infinity War to have it not be that way. They can do it.
No.
They can do it.
No.
They've done it before, so what stops them now?
It's a little too important.
Yeah, but you know, Civil War is actually really important. You see how that did.
It's been a long time since
I know, it's same here.
Rid of a house containing...
But yeah, that's just our general thoughts of it. We just felt it was, for me, I just felt it was sloppy. They didn't take the time to, develop things. And if they're talking about the billions of dollars, collateral damage, address that. They didn't think that. They just implied that happening. If you were a casual moviegoer just watching this movie, you wouldn't know that. You were just thinking, oh, wait, that bomb that happened with Crossbones, that's what caused it. Which is, no. Put in all the stuff that they did so we can get a good understanding why it's happening. Now, I get, collateral damage happens when they fight villains and stuff, but once again, if they didn't do anything, the world would have been a lot worse. But let's get into the characters. Cap? No. What? No. He's not the Cap that I loved from Winter Soldier or even the first Avenger. He's
irrational.
He's irrational. It's like, he's putting everything to the side for Bucky. And I get he's your best friend, but you alone can't help him. Sorry to say.
And you know what? He's all about safety. Cap is all about saving civilians and we need to protect the world. But Bucky literally is a living weapon.
Yeah.
You have to say a few words to him and he goes berserk. He doesn't care who he kills. All he knows is to kill, 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 kill. You know? Mm-hmm. So, Cap should realize that.
Yeah.
And every time someone says the word Bucky, he freezes.
Yeah, it's like, that's the one thing I think the government could help with, is to get Bucky the help he needs, because...
But they don't want to do that because they just see him as a weapon. They just want him gone. You know, or they want to use him. We don't know. Because they should have addressed that a long time ago.
They should have.
But they never have.
Yeah, so just, no. Yeah, Doc. No? Okay. You bring it up later?
This is something later.
Okay. Yeah, so just Cap, I just felt, just was not consistent with the first two characters and just being much more reckless than he was in the previous films. Regardless if he wanted to help Bucky or not, he would not put innocent lives in danger. And he freaking had a freaking massive car crash accident chasing Panther and Bucky later in the film without even thinking about the repercussions. Like, come on now.
Yeah, that's just not him.
Yeah. Speaking of Bucky, I like Bucky. He's actually probably one of the very few people in this movie that actually is trying to, you know, answer for his crimes and stuff. He's actually trying to do it the right way. So it's like he admits that he messed up, even when it wasn't under his control, like killing people and all this stuff. He knows it wasn't him, but he's willing to, you know, surrender to the government and get the help that he needs, even though the government apparently doesn't want to help him. But
another reason why Cap shouldn't have gone after him.
Mm-hmm.
He was willingly going with them.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I did terrible things, and I want to, you know, I want to kind of fix it, make up for it. Why does Cap feel like he just has to save him? He's literally going with them.
Mm-hmm.
He knows,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like it's almost like Cap doesn't understand what Bucky's done, and I'm sure he does know. He's a freaking killing machine. He tried to kill him in Winter Soldier numerous times. So it's like, no, he can't do this by himself. It's like even when Tony was trying to tell him. But yeah, I like Bucky. I don't know why people are just so sour on him. I think he's a very good character.
Salty of him.
Yeah, salty. You know what I mean. But it's like, yeah, I really like Bucky. I think he's a very good character. And for some people that are like don't want him to be the future Captain America, I could see that. I can
Yeah,
see
Falcon's better.
Falcon. I don't understand. No, Falcon does
I
not
don't
hold
like
a candle
Falcon.
to Cap. I'm sorry. He
Yes.
only flies and has machine guns, and that's it.
So, but with the shield, it builds up his arsenal, you think? And
Yeah, but he still's not super strong.
He also doesn't have the emotional connection with Cap. I don't think Cap would want
Right.
But he's been
Sam to be. That's
Yeah, Sam.
He's
Yep.
been his buddy for day 2.
Yeah,
Day
but they
2.
still didn't have that emotional connection that Bucky and Rogers did.
I mean,
I
look at his Bucky's.
You gotta stop interrupting people, dog.
I think Cap would want Bucky to take over the mantle of Captain America because he wants Bucky to redeem himself,
Yeah.
and that's literally the reason. I don't think Sam would even want to be Captain America.
No, he
Because-
even says numerous times he doesn't even want to be part of the Avengers, even though he's an
He
Avenger
is,
now.
yeah.
So he's so wishy-washy. I don't know. Yeah, Falcon's next on the list. Yeah, Falcon was fine.
Falcon's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love Falcon.
He's
Love
cool.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, I like this new. They actually utilized the bird thing. It wasn't
I know,
actually
that
birds.
was
It was a drone. I thought it
Yeah,
was cool.
that was cool. Red
Named
Wing.
it.
And no Red Wing. Like I said, it's better than an actual bird. It makes more sense in this technological world.
Right. Yeah, Scotland.
And Winter Soldier and Falcon and Spider-Man had this like start cast.
Hey, we'll
fight.
talk about that in the airport battle. Okay.
But we
Airport battle.
But
We'll get to that. We can't be out of track. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say about Falcon. He was fine.
He's fine. Scarlet Witch.
Okay.
One thing
They were trying to develop her character after Age of Ultron since Quicksilver's not there anymore. She's trying to hone into her powers and be there by herself. She's not used to it. Being a member of a team. Feeling bad about the collateral damage. So that was that. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch is one of my faves.
Mm.
One of my favorite characters. She's great. Scarlet Witch in Civil War was a whiny bitch. She was whiny. Oh wow, there were casualties. Oh blah blah blah. Okay, that's great. There were casualties. There's always casualties. You literally were with a psychotic robot that killed a bunch of people, and now you're gonna have a conscience? Come on now.
never
Really?
understood why her and Quicksilver teamed with Ultron. Like, there's not really a
They literally just wanted revenge on Tony Stark, and that's it. That was their only motivation.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's it. And now she has a conscience after, like, you know,
yeah, that's a good
Ultron
point.
was gonna destroy her entire town, her hometown, and kill everyone in it.
yeah.
I just don't get it.
Mm.
I think they took a great character, and so far they have done nothing with her. Her powers are way more complex than they're showing in these movies, and it's pissing me off.
Yeah, they really watered down her character, and it's probably to an extent because it's not X-Men's not in the universe, so they can't do that much.
Well, at least they didn't show that her and Ultron have a child together.
You mean Vision?
No, she has a child with Ultron.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
That is disturbing. That was disturbing.
What would the baby look like if they had a
Half robot.
Oh.
Half
Yeah.
robot. That's probably what Vision. If they have kids, that's probably what's gonna happen with that.
No, I mean, like, in the comics, you can cut this out if you want, but in the comics, he literally, like, took an egg out of her, and then, like, developed it, and then attached machinery to it, and everything, and it wasn't, like, a legitimate, they didn't actually
Bump uglies.
that.
Mm,
They didn't do anything.
didn't do anything. Okay.
Yeah, Vision and Scarlet Witch have kids.
What is Vision
Yeah,
even made
Vision
out
and
of?
Scarlet Witch have kids. Yes, they do.
What is Vision made out of?
Stuff.
Vision is made out
Those damn
of
shit.
synthetic flesh.
Say what?
Synthetic flesh. So
Synthetic
basically, it's.
Synthetic
I'm gonna say man-made flesh, but it's all man-made. So
Man flesh.
Oh gosh.
remember, when they put, you know, that Asian lady, I can't remember her name, the scientist in Age of Ultron had that machine
Yeah.
that can create, flesh. You know, can
Yeah.
create skin
Yeah.
and organs and stuff like that. That's what he's made out of. That is him. So it's basically like a 3D printer for blood and guts and.
Oh god.
Synthetic.
Oh god. Moving on. Oh, moving on. Okay, so
Please cut that out.
I don't know. I think this is actually interesting. Anyway, so as for people who don't know, we're going through the Team Cap members, and then we're going to go through Team Iron Man. So Ant-Man.
That's what we're doing.
Yes.
Ant-Man did not need to be there. You guys can fight me.
No, he's-
Hi. You agree with
No.
me?
Yeah, I agree with you, but
What?
he ended up being one of the best parts of the movie, even though he didn't
Yeah,
need
he
to be
was
there.
one of the best parts of the
Giant
movie.
Ant-Man.
Okay, but like you're so like restricted on the amount of people that you can use because you haven't introduced people. You have to have Ant-Man in there, you know, because you got to have people.
In the most contrived way possible, they got Hawkeye, which we'll get to in a second, to just get him from wherever he was in a truck.
Home.
At home. I'm like, really?
Yeah, it was forced, but yeah, I mean you got to bring him in at some point, I guess. I don't know.
I guess so. It's like, yeah, he did end up being one of the best parts of the
Yeah,
movie.
he was great. I love Paul Rudd
mhm.
as Ant-Man.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he was bad in the movie. I'm just saying that like he literally didn't need to be
Yeah,
there.
completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Hawkeye. Why is he here?
Isn't he retired or something?
Exactly.
He only retired because he didn't want to sign the Sokovia Accords.
But he.
But that's what he said in the movie. They literally said to him, either you sign, like, to go, you know, to be under the jurisdiction of the government, which is included in the Sokovia Accords, don't forget, or you retire. And he chose retirement. Because he wants to stay with his family, he wants his family to be safe, and he knows that if he... This is why it doesn't make any sense that he's there. He knows that if he goes and is just a vigilante or whatever, then his family's in danger. But he goes anyway. And that makes no sense.
Yes. Now, did he address that why he retired in Age of Ultron? Because I'm going off of when he talked to his wife, saying that after the Ultron stuff, he's done.
No, he didn't address that in Age of Ultron. I'm just going off of what they said. Black Widow, I almost said Scarlet Witch, what Black Widow said to Cap in Civil War.
Okay, I missed that detail then. But it still doesn't make sense because you're putting your family in danger. Like, what's up with these people's motives? Like, they're not even considering the ramifications of their actions. Same thing with Cap. Like, are they even thinking? And then, he's able to get Scarlet Witch out of her funk. Just get off your ass and whatever. I'm like, really? That's it? That's all? Okay, sure.
Well, remember, he kind of hyped her up in Age of Ultron.
Okay.
She was hiding, and
Yeah.
so they have kind of a little connection thing going on there. But
Yeah.
He is pretty much her hype man, but he was.
Yeah, so I
was
like that
you
touch.
do a great job, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the touch that they're continuing the relationship between him and Scarlet. That was good. That was nice. But out of rhyme or reason, they just going to go to Team Cap. There should have been more. They're just giving us little tiny things for motivation, which no. So going to Team Iron Man.
Can I say one more thing about Scarlet Witch?
Yeah,
before
sure.
we go?
Yeah.
I don't understand why she went to Team Cap, and I don't understand why she fought signing so much.
And why?
Because if she really felt guilty about accidentally killing all those people in that building, she would sign.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
And she'd be on Team Iron Man.
Yeah.
But she didn't. So what's going on?
Yeah, like seriously.
That's what I'm saying. Does she really have a conscience?
Yeah, it's not even clear why they're on the side that they are. It's just like, I picked this side. I'm standing by.
Oh,
I'm
it's just
standing
like,
by.
you grabbed me first, so
Yeah,
we're going over
he
there.
grabbed me first.
We got to make it even 6.
Yeah.
Team Iron Man.
All right, going to Team Iron Man.
Colin had to leave us.
Yeah, Colin had to leave us, sadly, so it's just the 4 of us now. Okay, so going to Team Iron Man, we're going to start off with the Team Cap himself, Tony.
Okay, yeah, I'm mixed because I like that Tony's not being stupid, and just like a
Reckless.
moron, and reckless. It's like, hey, he's trying to be serious and take responsibility for things, but it also is sort of a betrayal of his character, like we said, because since when has he given fucks about what the government says?
Yes.
In the comics, though, there is that shift in his personality after Age of Ultron. So I didn't really mind that too much. But
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
And I'm okay with that shift in his character, that's fine, but once again, it's going to keep coming up. They give us breadcrumbs for motivation. So you're telling me what's setting him off to be part of the government is a lady coming up to him saying, my kid died, you should have done more, even though if you didn't do anything, the entire world would have been destroyed.
Yeah, they did as much as they did. That's literally all we got, just some random lady.
And it's just like, Tony is also, once again, being impulsive at the same time because he's not even listening to Cap about why he's doing the stuff that he's doing. It's like he's not listening to reason or even considering the fact that there's a villain walking around doing whatever he wants. So Tony is having complete tunnel vision with all these government Sokovia Accords, only being like a drone to Thunderbolt Ross, which I thought he should be more than that. And it's like I'm only questioning it because we're going off of very little of why he's doing it. So, no. Black Widow, she was fine. Pretty much the same as she was in the previous films.
She didn't do much.
Yeah, didn't do much. Definitely not as great as she was in Winter Soldier, but it's like, once again, it's just she's the same. I didn't dislike her, but there was a portion of the movie where you thought she would possibly go to Team Cap because she's sympathetic towards the fact that that Cap is mourning Peggy Carter dying, the funeral and stuff like that. Yeah. So there was a little thing there. So I was like, but no, she ends up going to Team Cap.
Actually, speaking
I mean Team Iron Man. I'm sorry, Team Iron Man.
Actually, speaking of the funeral scene we just talked about, for some unfathomable reason. I don't understand why they chose this. They gave one of Cap's most defining speeches in the comics. That what Sharon says in her eulogy, if someone tells you to move, no, you move.
Mm-hmm.
That was Cap's speech, and
Yeah.
that
made me mad.
That's one of his most defining speeches.
That is one of his most famous speeches in
And for
all
some
of comic
reason, they
book
gave
history.
it to Sharon. It's just weird. It's weird. That's why I'm kind of scared they don't do an Infinity War, because there's a line that he says to Thanos that goes like, literally, there'd be a whole of us falling down. If one stands up on you, you're fine. And pretty much Thanos goes, "Oh, noble sentiments for one who's about to die." And that's that's
kind of awesome.
It's a badass line, but
They're not going to do it. They don't have. Sorry, we're eating. They don't have the balls.
I don't know. Very much.
Actually, I changed what I just said. They don't have the balls not to put it in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally, anyone that's read the comics will revolt if they don't put it in there.
Right. I didn't mind that as much. I mean, yeah, it's one of Cap's most definitive speeches, but in the context of the movie, having what's her name, Sharon Hardy?
Yes.
Yeah, having her say it in the context of that funeral, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Plus, I think it would be out of place for Cap to even say something like that in this movie, stuff that he's doing. So I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-mm. That would not be out of place.
Yeah, it could be before the airport scene. Like,
Yeah, because literally the government is trying to tell him to move. And he could have been like, no, you move. And that could have been a slap in the face.
Alright, that's fine.
like a CSI moment, you know.
Mhm.
No, you move. Like that.
Actually, let's talk about Sharon for a minute. She was good. She had more of a role in this movie.
She was okay.
Yeah.
Okay, she did.
She was serviceable.
Yeah. I felt they kind of rushed the kiss before the airport.
That's weird. You know?
Hey, Peggy, I'm kissing your
That's granddaughter. You don't do that. You don't do that to someone.
I'm hitting the cars tonight.
Hey, Peggy, I know you just died, but I'm kissing your granddaughter, so
You gotta keep moving forward.
Yeah, so
What does Disney say? Keep moving forward.
keep moving forward.
That's how they
That's
roll,
their
man.
motto. Just keep moving forward. How's that working for you? Star Wars.
Stay tuned to the Star Wars podcast.
Oh my goodness.
We're all going to be fighting each other,
Yeah.
even more than now.
Even more than now. All right, Vision. No. Vision did not work for me.
Yeah, I don't like
in this
Vision.
movie.
He's stupid.
No, he's not even consistent with his character in Age of Ultron. He's
just weird.
weird. Yeah, that's the only thing I can describe as
Sort of
weird.
Pessimistic.
And trying to act all jokey and human, wearing a sweater. I'm like, what? Is this the same character? What is going on? And then he's inconsistent with his motives of why he teams with Iron Man. I mean, the main thing is he wants to make sure that Scarlet Witch doesn't get harmed or anything, and solving for the actions there. But it's like, I don't know. It's just his characterization overall just threw me off. It's just, if he stayed his serious, intelligent, wise self as he was in Age of Ultron, and then talk about the motivation there, I would have gone along with it. But that whole emotional human aspect really just is not consistent, because we don't even know what he is fully. I mean, us comic people know who he is, but in the context of this universe, people don't even know, what is this? It was Jarvis one time, and now it's like,
Now he's a man?
android human thing.
he's like Cyborg.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Cyborg.
Well, kind of, because, like, he evolves. Just like Cyborg.
Yeah, so, I mean, but overall, his character, I couldn't get with it as much. It's disappointing. I hope that they do better towards him in Infinity War before he dies. But, yeah.
Disney say he's going to get stoned.
Hey!
Do that, everybody.
And this is what I deal with on a regular basis.
Indeed. War Machine.
Okay.
Well, I forget.
I despise him.
Did they take the paint off of it and just turn it back to the...
Yep, back to War Machine.
Fuck you, Shane Black.
Fuck you, Shane Black. Anyway, why do you despise him in this movie, Crimson?
He is a self-righteous, arrogant asshole. Okay?
Is there something specific he did in this movie that set you off, or is it just the other movies before this, like you just
The other movies before this, mostly. But then, I was kind of okay with him, falling to his death.
Oh, yeah, he should have been paralyzed.
He should have died.
Or died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does anyone else remember the Civil War comics?
Yes.
Because he should have died.
Yes, or at the very least, if you're going to have him paralyzed, there's still ramifications, but no, he's okay by the end.
That as an important, oh my gosh moment in the trailer. But no, he's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
He pisses me off because I don't think there should be a war machine. No offense to anyone that likes him.
I do like him.
Okay. No offense to you then, D-Wizzle. But, I don't think he should be there. What is the point of him? You already have Iron Man. What is the point of him?
A backup Iron Man.
That is the most bullshit-filled answer I've ever heard in my life. There's literally no point to him. He makes me mad. You don't see a second Captain America running around.
Not yet.
Well, yeah, after Cap dies.
I think it's the Batman and Robin mentality where take on
but Robin didn't wear a bat suit.
No, well, there's certain incarnations where there's a variation, but
he turns into Batman.
I think it's just because it's just the whole best friend mentality, and I think I'm going to disagree with you about him pissing me off. I mean, yes, he's a hard ass for sure, but especially when it came to 2 and 3, he's one of the very few people that kept Tony grounded and called him out on his crap. So as far as that aspect goes, I think he's a good character.
Other people call Tony out on his crap.
Yes, but it's Rhodey, he's doing it the most. I mean, yes, you could say Pepper did too, but it's Rhodey really getting in his ass on stuff, and I feel like he needed that. Yes, he's not as cool as Iron Man. We'll be real about it, but I don't think he needed to be.
It's not even that he's not as cool. It's just that, he didn't need to be in Civil War.
Yeah.
Even in the comics, I'm just why are you here?
Why are you here? Yeah, so I get it on that aspect.
He's not even an Avenger.
He's an Avenger now!
So do they just let any idiot with a suit or powers become an Avenger? Because that's basically Ant-Man and
Falcon.
War Machine. And Falcon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I have wings, guys, that shoot machine guns.
Hey!
I'm an Avenger now.
Drone bird!
But you can say they do in the comics too. Literally, how many heroes in the Marvel universe has been an Avenger?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Can I just say, even though this is a Marvel podcast, the Justice League is better than the Avengers. There, I said it.
I agree.
Okay. Thank you, D-Wizzle.
Yep. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of hate in the comments. No, the Avengers are better, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, well, y'all can suck my
Marvel
dick, so.
dick riders.
Yeah, this podcast is not for Marvel dick riders. We criticize these movies fairly. We like DC and Marvel. If they make a good movie, they make a good movie. Just to let you know.
You know that everyone is going to say Justice League sucked, right?
I don't care. I'm done defending it at this point. If you hate it, then be mad at it. I'm going to keep enjoying aspects of it because I do think there's good stuff in it. But yeah, I'm not going to go on a tirade about DC right now. We'll talk about that when we have a DC podcast. But anyway, moving on. DC podcast? The best part of this film, hands down, T'Challa, Black Panther.
Oh, I can finally talk! Thank God!
Yes. Awesome! Alright. Let's go, Nick!
Airport.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that too.
Yes.
Oh my God! 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 Oh my God!
They literally got
that
him
was
right.
1-to-1. What I knew it was going to be great because Chadwick goes 180%. Even
280%.
He goes into it.
Over 9,000.
9,000. But no, literally, when he if you haven't seen Chadwick Boseman pre-MCU, go watch it. Literally, 42 is a great. That's a good movie.
Yeah,
That's an amazing.
It's a
movie.
great movie. He plays Jackie Robinson. Get On Up is kind of mixed, but
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like it too. But he's James Brown. He's played Thurgood Marshall now too. Like literally, he's just a fantastic actor, and he got T'Challa.
He's literally perfect.
Literally, that is once again the MCU being. Say what you will about the MCU, they know how to cast people.
Like, seriously, I can't see anyone else being Tony Stark but Robert Downey junior He's perfection. However, Chadwick is it Boseman?
Yeah.
That's
Boseman.
how you pronounce it? Okay. I'm weird. I always pronounced it Bosman for some reason. Chadwick Boseman is actual perfection. Actual perfection. Personality, it's right. It's perfect. Everything he does is perfect.
He even have to look down. It's like
No.
he's 30. He's 40 years old. And he looks great. He's 40 years old.
He gives
40
us
years old?
He's 40 years old.
He's lying to me right now.
No.
I would pull it up right now.
If not, he's 39. But he's 40.
Yeah, he's a young baby.
He's
And plus,
smack as
it's always
fuck
good
is.
to have a black goatee superhero individual. First goatee
Oh
boys.
yeah,
right?
goatee
And
boys.
goatee
Yeah. But yeah, I was afraid with all this messy stuff in Civil War, they weren't going to fully get T'Challa right. But he ended up being the diamond in the rough.
Yep.
Like there's even times I feel like he's self-aware of how ridiculous this movie is and how ridiculous the characters is. He doesn't even crack jokes or have one-liners or anything. He's serious the entire time.
He is the straight man in
Yeah.
what would you say in the comedy? He is the straight man.
Even when other people try to like crack jokes with him, he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"No, I ain't doing
That's
that."
the best part.
No.
He's like,
That's
why
what
are
he-
you doing that?
Why are you doing that?
I'm playing by him. I don't care.
Even the what's the name of Panthers women?
Dora Milaje?
Yeah, Dora Milaje. They even make an appearance.
Oh,
They're even
yeah?
badass.
Oh,
Move or you will be moved.
As entertaining as that would be.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
and he's 40.
He literally saved this movie for me. I was almost about to check out, but yeah, he was great. His suit looked amazing.
Oh yes.
The suit was phenomenal.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
just mwah, mwah,
Honest to
mwah.
God, I think I would have given this movie an F or left the theater if they wouldn't have put him in it.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked it. I
wouldn't have liked it as
coming
much.
from someone who's still in the fence of still liking this. It would have gotten the grade down if they messed up one of my favorite superheroes. And speaking of that, my other favorite superhero was in this too.
Spider-Man! We're going to get into the history of Spider-Man and Homecoming, so we're not going to throw down everything here,
Yes.
but to just give quick context, he
was great.
He was great. Tom Holland was great. I appreciated Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the previous incarnations, but Tom Holland is Peter Parker. He is Spider-Man.
He's literally perfect.
Yeah,
he's a
literally-
teenager.
Yeah. And,
He's an actual teenager, guys. Oh my god!
Oh my god, he's a teenager!
which is funny because we're the same age.
Oh, he's like 22.
Yeah, he's like
Okay,
21.
so he's a young adult.
He still looks
He's
young.
a young adult.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago, though.
Yeah.
So he was
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
19.
he's younger than both Tobey Maguire
Yeah,
and
like
Andrew
the
Garfield
yeah.
when they played
Yeah, wasn't
Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire like almost 30 when he played
Yeah,
Spider-Man?
he
Yeah.
was 30. Something.
Yeah, okay, that was...
Yeah,
Anyway.
that was
But
a
that
great
was
decision.
that was 2000.
Get into
That was
that.
2000 superhero.
That was 2000s,
and that
but
was
yeah.
good. And that was a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's like
That was a good time.
That was
That was
a
a
good
good
time.
That was a great
We don't
time.
need it anymore. We're in the new
moving forward.
era.
We're in the new era. We're in the good
New
era.
era. It's a new age.
New age. But yeah, Tom Holland is just, they finally got down the teenager aspect of Peter, which I felt was lacking in the previous films.
But that's what made it great.
That's what made it great. The suit. Oh, I love the suit.
Loved it.
I
Oh,
love
Really orgasmic.
Yes.
very orgasmic.
When you see it, when he just...
When he makes his superhero landing and his eye, we all reacted to when we saw
He literally had
and
cap
the
shield.
shield and squinting eyes like the comics. I'm gonna say when I saw it in the trailer, I nutted. I legit nutted because that
was amazing.
It was amazing because literally up. I'll save it for Spider-Man Homecoming. I'll save it for Spider-Man Homecoming because coming from a costume standpoint, it's just delicious.
I literally just want to talk about Spider-Man now. But
Yeah, it's like Aunt May was really good too.
Oh, Aunt May was
I like
just
Aunt May
delicious.
quite a bit.
She's hot.
I
I never thought I'd say Aunt May is hot.
yeah, she's okay.
Okay. She ended up being she
Yeah, she was great.
yeah, I really like
She's
her.
a wolf.
It's oh, stop it. Anyway, yeah, I was wondering how this incarnation of Aunt May was going to stack up with the previous two, because I like the previous two Aunt Mays, but like they went a completely different direction, which I felt like they needed to do.
It's a logical sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's like, wow, Rosemary in the Sam Raimi universe was pretty much a perfect bringing of the comics Aunt May.
Mm-hmm.
And Aunt is not a grandmama.
Yeah, it don't have to be a
It didn't
grandma.
make any sense.
Yeah, Aunt is not a grandma. And Aunt, literally, I think majority of people in here are literally aunts and uncles. It's just, you're not going to be an aunt.
I better not be an aunt.
Yeah, but
But
an aunt's pretty young.
an aunt is like 30.
It's like
30s.
30s.
Maybe
40s.
a little more.
Yeah.
In between like 30s and 40s, depending on how old your parents are.
Yeah.
And
You know?
yeah, Marissa Tomei, I think, is in her late 40s, early 50s.
See, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because Peter's parents looked old. We'll say that for Spider-Man Homecoming, but
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, the Tobey Maguire Aunt May, no.
It was great for the time, but...
Andrew Garfield Aunt May was a lot better.
Yeah.
Except she looked like she was 60 years old.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm. So
Don't know.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't like about the Spider-Man thing is Tony just recruits him out of nowhere.
save it for Spider-Man.
Yeah. I know Peter is a young kid. He's like 15, 16.
15.
Yeah. So he could be a little naive. But he's not stupid. He should be a little bit more aware
That's
about
the point. He
what's...
was really smart.
Yes, he's really smart. It's like he should be more aware about what's going on with Cap and all that stuff. He wouldn't be blindly going to Tony without questioning something. He doesn't even question it. He's just like, yeah, it's Tony, Iron Man. I grew up seeing him, and I saw him in Iron Man 2 at the Expo. But that's it. You don't know. Spider-Man had a bigger role in Civil War, which I wish they just waited to Civil War to do the storyline there, but it's like, no, they just had Tony recruit him, and it's like, yeah, I'll do it.
Keep in mind,
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stark is Peter Parker's idol.
Yeah.
If your idol came up to you and said, hey, I know you're Spider-Man, that's really freaking cool, I have a suit for you, we're going on a mission, you want to come? Wouldn't you be like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
He probably does understand, like, Cap's point of view.
Yeah, he said
Cap. I meant Cap.
Cap.
He probably understands Cap's point of view. However,
He even said
Tony came to him. The fact that Tony Stark, who he adores, came to him is why he went with. He didn't. It wasn't like super. Yeah, it was. I mean, he was kind of going blindly, but like.
it's a logical
Again.
standpoint. And plus, he did say, remember, Spidey does understand in the airport about it. He says, Stark says you're wrong. He says, Stark says you're wrong. You think you're right. That makes you dangerous. So he understands he doesn't understand the entirety. He knows a little bit of it. But he's not full of blind adoration.
Alright, well, I guess this is the best way they could have done it in the context of this story, so it's like, fine, but I just wish they just would have developed Civil War better! Anyway, so before we get to the best of airport battle, we're going to talk about Baron Zemo, or not Baron Zemo.
No, we're done. That's it. Not Baron Zemo.
Okay, so I alluded to the fact in the last podcast that there's a certain villain in Phase 3 who I think is the worst villain in the entire cinematic universe. Zemo is it! Zemo is the worst Marvel Cinematic Universe villain. Why do I say this? Because it doesn't matter that he has superpowers. It don't even matter about his motivation. His entire plan is based off of coincidence. Like, he doesn't set off any of the main conflicts that happen in this movie. He's literally waiting for stuff to happen or not happen in order for his plan to work. If he was completely cut out of the film, the movie would not change. And not to mention the fact, this is nothing like the Baron Zemo in the comic books. Completely nothing at all. I was legit mad. And for people to come up to me and tell me that Zemo was a great villain, get out of here. I mean, yes, you have your opinion, and yes, I respect it. But to me, Zemo is just no.
Yeah, that was a load of bullshit. It was just like, oh, all these coincidences, and I knew that was going to happen. Like, get the fuck out of here. Who are you?
What are you? Yeah, I would have rather him be like a main member of Hydra commanding some soldiers with the purple mask. Yes, I would have had that ridiculous crap than this garbage.
Yeah, and then you just modernize the suit, or the, his costume.
I'm like, what is this? What in the world is this? And it's like they're alluding to, like they kind of did in Iron Man 3, they're alluding to a more interesting plot, but they do a plot twist at the end, which I will get to later, because that was the biggest bullshit of this entire film. But Zemo is no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hit the Power Rangers helmet with my elbow because I was that angry. I hate Zemo. Worst villain in the MCU.
Not to mention that he's also really bland and boring.
Boring. I forget he's even in the film.
Mission report.
December 7th, or whatever.
16th.
December 16th, 1991.
That is the stupidest.
1941 or whatever. Who gives a shit?
91.
You may fall out the
Yeah.
mouth
Oh,
for
it's
this.
91.
Iron Man is not that. He just said 1941.
Right.
I don't know.
Iron Man is not that old, dude.
Zemo may return in the future Marvel movie.
He better put on that purple mask with a freaking blaster in his hand, commanding soldiers, because I don't care about this grounded, boring, oh my family died, Zemo! I don't give a shit!
Yeah, you're funny.
I don't give a shit! Anyway, that's my rant. Anyone have anything to say about Zemo?
He fucking sucked.
He fucking sucks. That's all we need to say.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Disappointment.
even people who
Piece of
love...
shit.
Yeah. Even people who love this film admit the villain is not good. Most of them, anyway.
Why did he need to? Oh, never mind.
That's it.
Yeah, we don't know why he's here.
No, I kind of was thinking about it, but why did he need to be there? Why didn't they just focus on the team? Why did they need a villain?
They don't need it.
Oh yeah, who is he? Like, where did his loyalties lie again?
He was there during the Battle of Sokovia, where his family was killed during the battle. So
Yeah.
he was there.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Like,
Yeah, and then
he
when
doesn't have like an allegiance with some sort of government or something.
No.
Or, like,
no, when Captain Black Widow put out all the information from like Shield and Hydra and stuff like that onto the internet, did he research or just crack codes? He encrypted a bunch of files. And then found out about Winter Soldier through the Hydra.
Yeah, pretty much he encrypted.
Yeah.
He pretty much dug through the mud and found everything.
so he's not even a special agent.
No,
for
he's
Milwaukee.
he's a
This
hacker.
guy blows.
You damn right. Okay.
Yeah, but not a blaster like he's supposed to.
Hey. Anyway, now let's get to what I actually thought was a very entertaining scene: the airport battle.
That's the money
Yeah,
right there.
That was a great scene.
You literally could have just had that as the whole movie, and I would have been satisfied.
I would have been fine. But no, they had to shoehorn this complicated, convoluted story. But yeah, I don't remember any other comic book films that had all these superheroes fighting against each other. It's just so many amazing stuff they did. They were so creative with how they're using their powers, working off of one another. It reminded me of glimpses of the Avengers, the first Avengers. It was just very, very entertaining. Seeing Spider-Man topple. Spoilers! Now this is a spoiler review. Giant Man.
It was given away during the
Yeah.
Funko Pop, which made me so mad.
Oh yeah, the Funko Pop.
Yeah, the
right.
Funko Pop gave it away, and I was so mad when I saw that.
Mhm.
It was beautiful when it
Yes.
happened.
Giant Man is in this movie, and it was amazing. And freaking Spider-Man toppling Giant Man. Never
Says-
thought I would see it.
I know.
Oh my goodness. This is just This is a comic book fan's wet dream right here.
That was the money. That was the money maker scene right there. And it was just
great. Mwah. Now I'm going to criticize. Because while that scene is amazing, that entire scene is totally inconsistent with the rest of the film.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I say that because the film before that was serious. It was like not much jokes going on. It was like tragedy going on. But when we get to this airport scene, it's all fun, cracking jokes.
Oh yeah, we're still friends even though I'm kicking your ass.
You have the right to remain silent. Remember that part in Empire Strikes Back when the ship toppled the
Honey, where did you get this guy? I don't know. He's on the young side. And Carver Davies on the young side.
Yeah, why'd you bring him here, Tony? Stupid. Anyway, but yeah, it's totally inconsistent with the rest of the film. Like I said, if we just saw that entire scene and didn't see the rest of the film, I would have walked home okay.
Actually, now I take back my statement because of all the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been a really epic, dramatic scene.
Mm-hmm.
But the jokes killed it.
Like another movie that we'll get to a little later.
Oh man.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh
We're gonna
Captain
fight.
Eagle and I are about to
explode.
Oh man.
But yeah, so entertaining fight overall. I liked all the characters fighting, but once again, it just didn't feel consistent with the rest of the film. And then we get to the final battle.
The climax.
So to set up the final battle. So this whole time we were thinking that not Baron Zemo was getting information out of Bucky to create more super soldiers for his army. And so Cap and his team was trying to prevent that from happening, and Iron Man
is what the real Baron Zemo in the comics was supposed to be doing.
Yes, exactly. And so Iron Man and his team was stopping that from happening, and they didn't know what was going on. So, okay, that's an interesting plot. Let's go there. Yeah, give Zemo actually a reason to be here.
Yeah, wrong.
So, after that huge airport battle, most of the people from Team Cap get locked up in which leads to other bullshit I'll talk about later, in an underground prison facility underwater, where the only way they're able to get in there is authorization within that base. Keep that in mind. Now, getting to the final battle. So, Tony intercepts a message from Cap saying, "We need your help to stop these soldiers." So, he goes to help him. And somehow Black Panther knew that he was going to go, and he already had a jet ready to go, even though, where did you listen to know that Tony was about to go?
They're connected through earpieces.
Okay, so he listened the whole time, and he got a jet ready to go. So, Panther, follows him. So, we get to the base, Iron Man meets Bucky and Cap. They got Zemo, cornered. But, it turns out that whole super soldier thing was all a lie. It was a trap.
Even though that was supposed to not be a lie. He was trying to get Cap's DNA and Bucky's DNA to create super soldiers. But anyway.
Would have been more interesting. But no. What is the bullcrap plan that not Baron Zemo has?
Oh. Tell us, D-Wizzle.
Okay, so he decides he has a freaking recording on the cameras. How did he get a recording on the cameras?
No one fucking knows.
Nobody freaking knows. He has footage of Howard Stark and his wife, Tony's mother, driving in the forest somewhere and having footage of Bucky killing them.
Where would there be cameras in the forest?
Well, it's on a road,
It's on
traffic cams.
Yeah.
But this is like in
any traffic lights. There's a flashback at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
hey, Evan.
there's only like a dirt. It's almost like it's a dirt road practically with trees everywhere. Where do you have?
I'm just asking practically.
Well, I mean,
how
maybe
would
it could have been a drone that was following Winter Soldier to make sure he did his job.
Oh, okay.
Could have been a drone.
It's super convenient.
No, because he got it from the Hydra files. You know that, right?
Okay, well,
okay.
because they got more they got more handy cameras. But anyway, regardless of that, that's not my main issue with the thing.
Yeah.
The main issue is, so Zemo planned this whole time to have Iron Man witness Bucky killing his parents so he can set off Iron Man killing both of them. So, let's go through the list of things that's wrong with that scene. First of all,
We don't got time for that.
no, we don't, but I'm going to go through it quickly. How did you know? How did you even think that Cap and Bucky were going to be in that exact location at that specific time for Iron Man to follow them and freaking stop you? How did you know that was going to happen? I'm hoping that they'll figure out my plan, so they'll come here, and then I got the video here for them. What kind of shit is that? And now, that's not even the main issue. So you're telling me that Iron Man is going to go full berserk killer mode because Iron Man knows that Bucky is doing this stuff out of his control. He knows that. He knows. But that completely goes out the window when he sees that out of his control, he kills him. He just goes berserker killer mode.
Shout out to Josh King. I don't care. He killed my mom. That is the stupidest line I've ever heard in a Marvel film. And here's why. When does Iron Man bring up his parents?
This is the first time that his mom has been brought up in 13 fucking movies.
Does he really? Okay, if he really loved his mommy, if he was mommy's little boy, wouldn't we have heard about her before this?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course we would have.
Yeah. But no, I even paid attention watching all these films. He doesn't mention his mother one
I looked
time.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some stuff with Howard, but there's not enough to be like him being angry about it, being pissed off. He respects his dad, but he still doesn't like him, and like he would understand that Bucky is being mind controlled. But no, that goes completely out the window because I can't kill my mommy. I hate you. I'm gonna kill you.
And what did he really even suffer after his parents died? No.
No.
Oh, what was that one depressing scene that he showed those college kids?
Oh yeah, he
Was
was
that-
creating a thing. He was creating a machine to like erase memories from your brain.
Yeah, but weren't you saying that like, oh, that would not be something that he would show?
Yeah, that wouldn't be something he showed. Like, he's literally showing the last time he's seen his parents before they die. Why would you show that at a presentation about something else, about students creating inventions? Why would you bring that up at a TED Talk about that? That
To
doesn't...
create context for later on when we finds out that his mom was killed by Bucky.
He literally could have shown like any other memory, but anything else in Tony Stark's massive, vast brain, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And he chooses to show the scene like before his parents died. That makes no sense.
Yeah, it's forcibly inserted in order to create some sort of context for later on, you know?
Yeah, that's literally why the scene is there. Yeah, people want to argue with me, but they just showed the context in the beginning of the film. Okay, and now I'm not going to fault this on the casual moviegoers who haven't seen all the films, but I'm going off because I've seen all the other films. This context still doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Makes no fucking sense.
People want to talk about, you know what, I'm going to bring up that other comic book film that came out the same year that had a certain scene that people were mad about, and it has to do with Martha. I don't want to hear another complaint about that scene if you're going to accept this bullshit.
This is worse.
This is worse, but people don't realize it. It doesn't make sense. At least in Batman v Superman, I'm going to say the name, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. First of all, this was the second film in the franchise, so yeah, it's a fresh start. They established in the beginning of the movie his connection with his parents. So by the time that Martha scene happens, you understand why he goes crazy. You understand. But literally, we're going off. What film is this? We're on the 13th. The 13th film, and this is the first time he brings up his mother. No, it does not work. It will not work, and it will never work. I don't care. That Martha scene, I don't see the problem with it. But people want to ignore this crap. No.
The Iron Man
Clark Kent is literally a mama's boy, and so was Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Stupid.
That Tony Stark is just going to kill Bucky and maybe Cap for not telling him? In
How did Cap know?
Okay,
How did Cap know?
Because people have argued about this with me like millions of times. Everyone I've talked to said that Cap knew ahead of time. But he didn't. Show me the proof. Show me exactly where Cap finds out this information and just hides it from Tony for no reason. You'd think that if Cap knew that, he wouldn't, really support Bucky. He'd be like, oh yeah, you need help, whatever. I don't think Cap knew.
But didn't they say Cap knew?
Yeah, he said he knew. He says, "Did you know?"
Yes,
don't lie.
but it still doesn't make any sense.
He says, "Yes."
However,
Yeah, how could he have
does
done
he actually say the word yes?
Yes, he did.
He does?
Yeah.
Yes, he says, "Did you know?" And Steve
Yes.
goes, "Yes," and Tony goes,
Mm-hmm.
"He says yes."
Show me where.
I'll show you on. I'll show you on.
No,
Netflix.
I'm not saying where he says yes. Because I believe you. I
Uh-huh.
just thought he kind of inclined his head, the Steve Rogers way.
Yes.
Show me where he found out.
That's what I'm saying about this entire film. Show us context.
Yeah, because we never
Was
get
he
to
just
see.
baiting
Yeah,
Tony?
we never get to see
Yeah,
where
that's literally
he
his
finds
entire
out.
plan. Was to bait Tony, which doesn't
Not
make
very
any
Zemo's
sense.
plan,
Yeah.
Talking about Zemo, right?
No, I'm talking about Cap.
Cap? Oh, I don't even know.
Was he just trying to bait Tony for some fucking reason? Because, seriously, that makes no sense. How would Cap know? Cap hasn't seen the fucking video?
No.
But
Before then?
somehow he knew, and you said he knew, and it makes no sense.
So yeah, we don't like that scene.
I hate this movie.
And this also took that entire thing took me out of the final fight between Bucky, Cap, and Iron Man. Even though it was an awesome fight scene, I couldn't enjoy it because the stupid logic in that fight scene kept taking me out of it.
I don't care, he killed my mom.
And that was a brutal fight because Cap was beating his ass. He was bleeding from the face and stuff like that, taking down his suit. It's just
and we have an iconic panel that was.
Oh yeah, when
the iconic
Iron Man shooting the
shield.
beams at Cap's shield. Yeah, that was cool, but it's still. I'm just wait, this shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening. And then at the end, Iron Man's like, "You don't deserve that shield. My daddy made that shield. You can't have it no more." And then he just drops the shield, and now he's not Captain America anymore. Fuck this movie. And then get into the
Actually,
end.
I don't mind that shield line. That you don't deserve the shield.
Honestly, I don't either because he doesn't deserve the shield.
Yeah,
He's
I
really
actually
stupid
kind
in
of
this
like
movie.
that line. I don't like the other lines in that scene, but I like that line.
Okay,
Really stupid in this movie. He has no common sense.
no common sense.
And isn't that the whole point of Cap's character? He's the man with the plan. Oh, I have common sense. I'm a Boy Scout type thing. Yeah, I'm looking at you, bud.
Captain Eagle. But yeah, and then we get to the very ending. Oh my God! When he sends that letter to Tony, that freaking hey, I know we fought, but I didn't mean to. We still good. We still buddies. And whenever you need me, I'm there. Okay, now let me get back to that.
Tony should have just been like, "Fuck you." Dude.
Fuck you. But okay, it's yeah, I forgive you for beating me half to death. Yeah. Now let me get back to that underwater base, right? That nobody could penetrate unless you had authorization from the inside. How in the hell did Captain get in that base?
Magic.
Because he's Captain America.
Fuck that shit.
That is the stupidest. I don't even remember how. I mean, was that even a thing in the comics?
Oh, it's worse in the comics.
Yeah.
Oh, it's worse?
In the comics, the prison's literally in the negative zone. AKA, literally, you go insane. It's pretty much in the negative
Oh
zone.
yeah.
So I would rather be underwater than in the negative zone where I could literally go insane. And literally, it's not...
And Cap escapes, completely. He's just
Escapes with the
completely
other
fine.
people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're all
escapes
just
Team
completely
Cap.
fine, I guess.
Comic books are weird.
You damn right. This movie's freaking weird.
Yeah, so it's literally he's there to break out the other Avengers. I'm there. I'll
be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got everyone out safely without Thunderbolt Ross
We
knowing.
have no idea how. And roll credits.
Roll credits. Okay, let's talk about the post-credit scene, and then I'm done talking about this movie. Okay, the first post-credit scene is Bucky. In the movie, Bucky gets his arm blasted off by Iron Man, and so he's taken to Wakanda so T'Challa can help him mend his injuries and also get rid of his mind fuck from Hydra. So that was cool. We got a little glimpse of Wakanda, got the huge statue and stuff. And then the second post-credit scene is Spider-Man at home licking the wounds of the fight from the airport battle, and Aunt May's attending to his wounds, and then he's hiding his hologram from his web shooters and is showing the projector of the spike signal on the signal.
I love that part.
That was actually really cool. I liked it a lot. And one more quick thing about Black Panther. Is it me, or other than Bucky, he has the most consistent story arc in the entire film, because at first he's driven by revenge because he thinks Bucky killed him, but then by the end of the film he realizes that Bucky is not to blame about this stuff, and he learns that revenge is not the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who? What are we talking about?
T'Challa.
Yeah.
Goes through the best story arc in a Captain America movie!
This is not a Captain America
why
movie.
was this called Captain America Civil War?
Because, I'm going to expose it, because they wanted to compete with Batman v Superman, and if they didn't have something as big as that, they were afraid that they weren't going to make as much money. I feel that's the conspiracy. People can fight me on that, but that's why.
Why couldn't they just call it Avengers 4?
That's legit.
Because they had to do...
Avengers 3?
Just 3.
Avengers 2.5.
That's what I call it.
Avengers Civil War.
That's what I'm saying. It should have been Avengers Civil War. Russo brothers, what did you do?
Because the Avengers are just as big as, Batman and Superman, So, they literally could have just said Avengers Civil War. But it wasn't even really just a Captain America movie.
Yeah, he's not really...
Well, I think the studios...
Captain America had the same amount of screen time as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
except for, he had one more scene because of the funeral, but...
Well, I know, it was already on the slate to do another Captain America movie, and I know people would have been like, wait, there's already an Avengers Civil War, but we just got Age of Ultron 2 years ago. How did they do another Avengers movie so fast? Because I know people are going to say that. But this basically is an Avengers movie.
Why do people care? Because Infinity War and Avengers 4 come out within a year of each other.
Yeah, that's true.
People don't care.
I gotta think of the general people who see one Marvel movie. They're like, what's going on? Who are these Guardians people? What's up with Thor? Who is this Raisin Man?
Casual moviegoers.
The casual
moviegoers.
Remember, they still exist. Did you
just call Thanos Raisin Man?
I said, who's this Raisin Man?
Who's this California Raisin?
Who's California Raisin? Who's Michael Jackson? How'd you get that Michael Jackson? One glove.
This was...
oh my god, he totally does look like a raisin.
I'm gonna do it. Oh my god, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, so this is 25% Captain America 3, 25% Iron Man 4, 50% Avengers 2.5. It's 25% Black Panther 0.5 and 15% Spider-Man 0.5.
And 100% bullshit.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, we're going to get to grades right now. This was such a disappointment because I loved The Winter Soldier. Russo Brothers did a great job with this, so I was assuming they were going to do just as good of a job. And I was excited regardless of how I felt about the Civil War storyline, of how they're rushing it. I was hoping they would do a good job. But it was just a sloppy mess. It was not consistent. The tone was all over the place. The motivations weren't good. It's such a mess. I give this movie, Civil War, a C. A C. And I only say that because Black Panther, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, and that airport battle. But other than that, this movie is it's hard for me to watch. I'm sorry. Dr. Nick.
I see. I had to, but I'm honestly gonna give it a B-.
Okay.
I give it a B minus. I mean, hear me out. Well, like I said earlier, I did enjoy this movie. It does have faults. That's why I said
So
it's
many. Sorry, go ahead.
It's like we're not going to criticize.
Like
the opinion.
it still is a great movie. It's not as good as Winter Soldier or even anything else for it. It does have its flaws, which is why they should not have done Civil War, because itself is a flawed comic. But I still enjoy it, and plus, like I said, we got three amazing things out of this movie. It gets a B minus for me. Pretty much B minus, nearly teetering C.
Mm. Captain Eagle.
I also give it a C. For the same reasons that D-Wizzle said. Yeah, this movie just has a lot of problems and was disappointing. And you lost, Marvel. This wasn't as good as Batman v Superman.
Oh, but people will disagree with you on that. Oh, BVS is garbage. Civil War is one of the best comic book films of all time, except The Dark Knight is great and nothing can top of that.
I'm in the minority.
What?
I still don't like BVS. I still find
You can get the fuck out now. Bye.
BVS.
You're not in the minority. Everyone hates that movie. So you shut your mouth. Anyway, Crimson Amazon.
Oh, God. Do I have to?
Yes.
I'm just kidding. I give it, okay. I give it a D+.
Okay.
Oh, I'll be nice. I'll give it a C-.
C minus.
Because I personally didn't like Ant-Man as much in this movie as much as you guys did. What saved it for me was literally just Black Panther. That's it. Black Panther, and then
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, I guess, even though he was in it for, 5 seconds?
Yes, at 50%, Spider-Man 0.5.
And then I guess the airport scene. I just personally don't like this movie. I think they could have done so many other things. They could have added so much more. They could have done more with the villain, even though there doesn't need to be a villain in the movie. So, that's where I'm at.
Okay, so that was our long, heated rant / defense of Civil War.
Thank you for staying. If you
Thank you for staying.
You are a trooper.
You are a trooper.